Well, now let's talk a little bit about the funny cars.
Where do you want to start?
We could talk about this forever.
Frank left, a couple of teams combined. Crew chief moves all over the place, and this is just the first race of the year. It's going to be a wide open season in Alcohol Funny Car.
And somebody besides Frank Manzo is actually going to win. I'm excited to see who that is going to be. The highlights in this category, we begin with Terry Ruckman and Steve Gasparelli. Watch Ruckman, better early numbers. Car starts to get out of the groove, though, and that allows Steve Gasparelli to drive by.
You saw Ruckman had to pedal it early. That cost him a little bit. Gasparelli, a hometown boy, he lives close enough to here. He could drive that funny car to his house if he wanted to.
Here comes the Rick Jackson team now with John Lombardo Jr. driving, taking on Bernie Harrington.
This was a wild one. Both of them pedaling, both of them crossed up, both of them out of the groove. Lombardo qualified at 5:56 and slowed to a 5:71, but somehow, some way, even with a 112 light, found his way into second round.
Lombardo, the defending event champion here from a year ago. Brian Haug, Greg Hunter. Whoa, wheel stand, love that.
This was one of the closest races we've seen so far this weekend in any class. Brian Haug blows up. Look at the speed, only 239 miles an hour. Not that Greg Hunter was exactly setting top speed of the meet, but how about that at the finish line when your engine's coming apart?
Margin of victory, 0.06 of a second or 24 inches. And how about this for a matchup? 5,400 miles away, both of these drivers, Yanni Lindberg and Ulf Leanders, call Sweden home. They came here for a 1,320-foot race.
Yeah, travel 50, how many hundred miles to race a quarter of a mile? Yanni Lindberg bows out in round number one. Ulf Leanders, he set all those big speeds over in Sweden, finally picks up his first round win in the States. How about from the Spirit of America?
Yep, and the Goodyear blimp, that's one of the greatest shots. You can see the car sashaying left and right, and you can really see who's out in front and if there's a charge coming from behind.
How about Lindberg? Well, you can go ahead and start home a couple hours early if you want to.
Yeah, you can probably beat him, too, by at least a day, because Sunday is when we wrap up the Circle K Winter Nationals, where Jay Payne is the #1 qualifier, but gives up lane choice to Clint Thompson on this side of the ladder.
The other side of the ladder is going to match up like this. John Lombardo, Brian Howe. That's a couple of the biggest West Coast hitters. And Ulf, long way from home. He doesn't want to go home after just one round win.
3 lower qualified cars out of this side. Nice. You know what else is nice? Aerial coverage. Comes courtesy of Goodyear. From the burnout to the finish line, NHRA drivers choose Goodyear tires. Goodyear, the official tire of the NHRA. Lots of action back in the pits.